Hello, cool kids. This one's kind of for addicted to minis and loving it. He likes to buy coin lots like this, usually foreign, and you can usually get this stuff at or below melt. Now I have some US coins in here I got for pretty good prices too. But we're going to go ahead and cover the foreign stuff because I got a few new lots from my coin dealer. First thing I want to show is a Barber and Roosevelt dime. Now these aren't foreign, but he had them at $2 a piece, $4 for 2 dimes. This is a 1963 in Denver. Fairly common. It's not in real bad shape. Now, the 1892, it's kind of blackened and dark. It is a Philadelphia. First year they made Barber dimes. It's a worn out slick, but that's the first lot. Nothing super special about that. Now this one, there's 4 coins. That's $5. Now the bigger coin turns out isn't silver, but when people are selling these online, I just checked, they usually ask for about $2 to $3 for a beat up one like this. Then you have shipping. Well, I got this in this coin lot for $5. So if you give it a value of about $2, even though it's not silver, that's not terrible. Now, out of these, the Balboa, 1/10 Balboa, is 90% silver. It's a little bit beat up. It is a 1930, and it's hard to read, but it's 90% and 2.5 grams, I believe. That's what the inscription says. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but if you go to online dealers and try to buy one of these, I bought one from AppMex as part of the other stuff I bought, and it was like $3.50. I wouldn't value this one at $3.50 being this worn. I'd say it's basically melt, which is close to $1.80 or something. It's 90% silver, same as the US dime. Now, the other 2 coins, couple British coins. The bigger one is a 50% silver. It's a 1 shilling. And according to what I looked up online, its melt value is about $2.20. That's so you take $1.80 and $2.20, you're talking $4. This one, 6 pence, is a 1939, which is 50% silver. Not in super horrible condition. Pre-World War II, at least for the United States. The Battle of Britain would happen in 1940, but some of the initial battles of World War II pretty much started before that. But it's 39. It's about $1.40 something. So the actual melt on these 3 silver coins is a little bit higher than $5. Even though this one isn't silver. If it had been, this would have been way under melt, because even if this was 50%, it would have such a large coin. It would have been worth some money. But I think I did okay on that. It's below melt because of the melt value. The 3 little coins add up to more than $5. and 4 coins for $5. I'm usually going to buy that when I see them. Now the next coin lot, he wrote down all these details, and this is how much silver ASW is, 0.6079, and he priced it from $23 silver, which I think silver's up a little bit from there. So it's $14 to buy all these coins. One of them is a sterling. So let's pull out the quarter, because that's the interesting one of the bunch to me, because it's not. This is a Bobcat, I believe. So this is only a 1-year design. It's the 100th, the centennial of Canada being somewhat independent, sworn to the crown, but they don't have to listen to whatever the Queen said at the time. But it's kind of a neat one. It's supposed to be 80% silver. It is 0.15. Now this one is an older one. Don't have a whole lot with King George on it here. This one is 1951, which its ASW is 0.15. So it's not super valuable or nothing. Fairly common, I believe. But I don't have very many of these, so anything with King George and silver is kind of neat. Now, most of these other dimes, these three, have Queen Elizabeth on them. We'll look at them real close. That one is 59. This one is 62. And this one is 66. They're all 80% silver coins. I'll have a look at see the date. Fairly neat, but not. They're basically, there's 3 of them. Should be a little bit, it's 0.06 per coin or something like that. All right. Then you have this little bit older one, King George on it, which I have a couple other ones. This is a 1947, just after World War II, showing some wear and tear. But that wasn't so bad. Now, the one of it that's kind of the most interesting for a lot of people will be this one, because it's older. It's 1918. That makes this sterling silver. And it's also King George, but not the same one, the older King George. That's the 5th. And this one is the 6th. So altogether, it was $14 for this coin lot. But the sterling one, if it's in a card, people generally ask more for these when they're carded up. And this one being a 1-year design, they would probably ask more for it too. So I didn't feel too bad about getting that for $14. The last lot that I got is also all Canadian. It's nearly an ounce of silver in here. 0.9522 is $21.90. Puts this around melt value to buy it. I don't think there's any real rare ones in the quarters, although I have a 1919. This one's sterling, so King George V. Pretty clear on the details, even though it is circulated some. They would go to 80% pretty soon after this, I think the next year. Out of the other quarters that are in here, we have an older one with King George on it, the other King George. It's a 1950. So he wouldn't be king much longer because he passed away in 52, I believe it was, and Queen Elizabeth took over. And this is a 1953 quarter, so it's literally her second year of reign. This is a 64 and this is a 58, but they generally appear to have the same portrait of Elizabeth, all three of them. There's at least 5 different portraits of her on these coins, but not on the silver ones. They would make these in silver up until 68, I believe, 80% silver. Now, what's left here is a couple Elizabeth dimes. So we'll have a quick look at both of these for the dates, 60 and 61. That one sort of looks like someone took a black magic marker to it, but it could just be toning. Again, it's Queen Elizabeth on these. The final coin in this is a fairly nice looking King George one, details wise. You can kind of, if I can get the light to hit it just right to where it doesn't shine too much, you can kind of see some of the high details, and the rim is pretty good on this. And it is 1932. So this is probably 80% as well. But I don't think I have one of these dimes with this King George portrait on it. So that's interesting. 1932, that's right in the midst of the Great Depression. It had been going for a few years and would go for a few more. But somewhere along the way, shortly after this, they changed this back to having this sailboat on the back instead, which is neat looking. But so it's all 80% silver, 5 quarters and 3 dimes. And according to my math on this, they're all 80% except for the 1 quarter. It's a sterling and adds up to 0.922 ounces. So anyway, I'm going to thank Bottle Top Bandit for coming by while I was doing this, keeping me a little bit company. It says there's 4 other people. Anyone want to say hi? And I can put your comment up on. And thank you for stopping by. Well, the whole thing, all these coins put together, was about just under $45. And considering he wrote $23 as the base price for the silver on this, and on this one too, when silver was probably 23.60 or something today. I can't exactly totally remember what silver's price was. So that was probably when he got this put together. Silver was right around 23 bucks, so he just rounded it off and put a price on it. And he usually charges this stuff by its ASW weight. So I didn't feel too bad about getting this at this kind of price. I think the math here comes out to $13.98, and he just went up to 2 cents to make it an even amount. That's what that $13.98 is. This one he didn't write that down. He just wrote $21.90. But I'm hoping everyone's having a good night and stuff. I don't have a whole lot more to talk about, but if someone wants to see something out of this bag, I can pull some stuff out of this, because that's where this stuff's going to end up going inside this bag. But oftentimes you can get stuff like these pretty cheap. This is Philippine money, or was. We made it for them during World War II. And this is what the design looks like. This isn't really circulated very much. It's got a little toning on it. It's a 1944, and San Francisco made it. It's 0.24 ounces of silver. It's like 750 percentage. But since I showed, hello John, thanks for stopping by. But since I showed the 1/10 Balboa, I'm going to go ahead and pull out the half Balboa, which is also 1930. Because it's a little bit bigger coin and not worn out as much, you can clearly see the date, the 90%, and the weight of 12.5 grams. These, if you try to buy them online, they're quite a bit over melt, even circulated. But I like the design, and I want to get a 1 Balboa one, a full Balboa. Had a chance to get a couple a few years ago, and I couldn't get them because someone beat me into the shop, and he got them. One of them was $20. Another one was like 30, so I would have snagged up probably both of them. But in this bag, there's a quarter Balboa in there. It's 1953. This whole bag was $57, and there is 39 coins, about $1.40 a coin. Several large quarter-sized ones in it. Well, John, hope you enjoy your pizza. But that's the kind of coin lots that Addicted to Mini likes to buy. Anything like this, foreign and sterling, British coins, whatever, Canadian, 80%. Which, see there, $8 is what I paid for all the coins in this one. And there is a 10th Balboa in here that is a 53. Let's see how well you can see it. Oh, it comes pretty well through the plastic. That one looks pretty nice. But there's some sterling dimes in here and a sterling quarter. So you add up the number of coins in this. There's 7 total coins, including, I can get it to pop away from there. quarter Gooden, which is the Netherlands Indies coin, 1941 World War II era. Kind of neat. But $8 for 7 coins, with one of them being a sterling quarter. I think I did pretty good on that one. And I think at least one of these dimes is sterling as well. Well, that's sterling, 1916, and it's a 10 cent. So that's how you get this stuff cheaper. Buying your coins in lots, and usually foreign. You can Canadian is oftentimes sold right at or below melt around here, so it's kind of the price you want for that, because most people are not going to pay you very much when you go to sell it. And you can probably send it to a smelter, and have it melted if no one else wants to give you a good price, because silver's silver and they don't really care, and they'll give you whatever scrap is on it at the time. I hate scrap coins because there's a lot of history in these coins, but if no one will give you any real money for something, that's what you do with them. But anyway, I've went on as long as I really want to. I want to thank Bottle Top Bandit and John Jacobs for stopping by and leaving comments. And I hope everyone has a good night, because it's pretty much all I have. We'll see you next time.